Lena Harper had stopped believing in fairy tales the day her student loans became larger than her dreams. She was 28, a barista, a woman who wore her exhaustion like a second skin. Every morning, she pulled espresso shots for people who barely looked at her. Every night, she collapsed into bed with her phone glowing in the dark, scrolling through faces that meant nothing. The dating app had become a ritual. Not hope, just motion. Something to do when the silence became too loud. She swiped left, left, left again. Then she stopped. His profile had no bio, just a single photo. Dark suit, sharp jaw, eyes that looked like they'd seen too much and said too little. The kind of face that didn't ask for attention. It demanded it. She hesitated, then swiped right. The match was instant. Her heart kicked once, hard, against her ribs. She stayed at the screen, waiting for a message that didn't come. 5 minutes passed. 10. She locked her phone and told herself to forget it. But at 2 a.m., when sleep refused to come, she opened the app again. One message waited. Asterisk asterisk, you shouldn't have swiped right. Asterisk asterisk. Her pulse quickened. She typed back, fingers trembling slightly. Asterisk asterisk, why not? Asterisk asterisk. The reply came fast. Asterisk asterisk, because now I know you exist. Asterisk asterisk. She laughed, a short, nervous sound that died in the empty room. It was dramatic, ridiculous, the kind of line that should have made her unmatch immediately, but she didn't. Instead, she wrote, asterisk asterisk, and that's a problem. Asterisk asterisk. Asterisk asterisk for you? Maybe. Asterisk asterisk. She should have stopped. Should have deleted the app. Should have recognized the warning buried in his words. But loneliness makes people reckless. And Lena was so lonely. They messaged for 3 days. Short, strange exchanges that felt more like riddles than conversation. He never asked where she worked. Never asked for her number. But somehow, he knew things, small things. That she drank her coffee black. That she walked home alone at night. That her apartment building had a broken lock on the side entrance. She told herself it was coincidence. She told herself a lot of things that weren't true. On the 4th day, he sent a single sentence. Asterisk asterisk, I'd like to meet you. Asterisk asterisk. Her stomach twisted. She typed and deleted 5 different responses before settling on. Asterisk asterisk, I don't even know your name. Asterisk asterisk. Asterisk asterisk, Dante. Asterisk asterisk. The name sat heavy on the screen. Solid. Final. Asterisk asterisk, okay, Dante. Where? Asterisk asterisk. Asterisk asterisk, I'll come to you. Asterisk asterisk. Before we go on, tell us, where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below. She didn't give him her address. Didn't tell him when her shift ended. But the next evening, as she locked the cafe door and turned toward the bus stop, a black car pulled up to the curb. The window rolled down. And there he was, Dante. Exactly like his photo, but more. The kind of presence that made the air feel thinner. His eyes found hers through the glass, and for a moment, the world stopped. He didn't smile, didn't speak, just nodded once toward the passenger seat. Lena's feet carried her forward before her mind could catch up. She opened the door, slid inside. The leather was soft. The car smelled like smoke and expensive cologne. The door closed behind her with a quiet click. You came, he said. His voice was low, controlled, the kind of voice that didn't need to be loud to be heard. I did, she whispered. Smart girl. She didn't feel smart. She felt like she'd just stepped off a cliff. The car pulled away from the curb, and Lena realized she hadn't asked where they were going. Dante didn't offer. They drove in silence through the city, past streets she knew and into neighborhoods she didn't. The buildings grew taller, the lights brighter. The world outside became a blur of glass and steel. Where are we going? She finally asked. Dinner. That's not an answer. His mouth twitched, not quite a smile. No, it's not. The restaurant was the kind of place Lena had only seen in movies. Chandeliers, white tablecloths, a man in a suit who greeted Dante by name and led them to a private room in the back. The door closed behind them. She's Saturday. He sat across from her. And for the first time, she saw him clearly. Dante was beautiful in the way a storm was beautiful. Dangerous. Inevitable. The kind of man who made you forget to breathe. You're staring, he said. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone normal. Disappointed. Terrified. His expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Something almost human. Good, he said softly. Fear keeps you alive. The words should have sent her running. Should have made her scream. But instead, they settled into her chest like a truth she'd always known. Lena had been drowning for years. In debt. In loneliness. In a life that felt too small and too heavy all at once. And Dante, dangerous, impossible Dante, was the first person who'd ever looked at her like she mattered. Even if she didn't understand why. They ate. He asked questions. She answered, more than she meant to. About her job. Her debts. Her mother's medical bills. The scholarship she'd lost. The dreams she'd buried. He listened. Really listened. Like every word she spoke had weight. You deserve better than this, he said when she finished. Better than what? This life. The one you're trapped in. I'm not trapped. Yes, you are. The certainty in his voice made her chest tighten. And you can fix it, she asked, her voice sharper than she intended. I can try. Why? He leaned forward, his gaze locking onto hers. Because I want to. It wasn't an explanation. It wasn't even a reason. But it was the truth. And Lena, exhausted, desperate Lena, believed him. When the night ended, he drove her home. Walked her to her door. Waited until she was inside before he left. She pressed her back against the door and closed her eyes. Her phone buzzed. One message. Asterisk asterisk. I'll see you tomorrow. Asterisk asterisk. She didn't respond. Didn't need to. Because somehow, she knew he was right. Tomorrow came. And with it, everything changed. Lena's shift at the cafe started at 6. By 7, the morning rush was in full swing. Coffee. Orders. The same tired faces demanding the same tired drinks. She was wiping down the counter when the door chimed. 2 men walked in. They didn't belong. Not here. Not anywhere normal. Both wore black suits. Both moved like soldiers. Their eyes swept the room once. Clinical. Efficient. Before landing on her. Her heart stopped. One of them stepped forward. Lena Harper. She couldn't speak. Couldn't move. Mr. Rossi sent us. The man continued, his voice flat. You're coming with us. The world tilted. I'm working. Not anymore. Her manager appeared from the back, his face pale. Lena, just go. It's fine. What? But the men were already moving toward her. Not threatening, not violent, just inevitable. One of them placed a hand, firm but not rough, on her elbow. This way, Miss Harper. She looked around. The customers stared. Her coworkers said nothing. And Lena realized, in that terrible, crystallizing moment, that Dante hadn't been asking. He'd been claiming. The car was waiting outside. The same black car from the night before. The same leather seats. The same smell of smoke and expensive cologne. But this time, Dante wasn't inside. Just the 2 men. Silent. Professional. Terrifying in their calm. Lena sat in the back seat, her hands trembling in her lap. One of the men drove. The other sat beside her, his gaze fixed forward. Where are we going? She asked. No answer. I didn't agree to this. You swiped right, the man beside her said quietly. That was agreement enough. The words hit her like a slap. She pressed her back against the seat and tried to steady her breathing. Tried to think. but her mind was a storm of panic and confusion. They drove for 20 minutes, out of the city, into the hills, past gates that opened without anyone touching them, past gardens that looked like they'd been painted into existence. And then, a house. No, not a house. A mansion. Stone and glass and iron. Beautiful and cold. The kind of place that didn't invite you in. It swallowed you whole. The car stopped. The door opened. Out, the man said. Lena stepped onto the gravel driveway, her legs unsteady beneath her. The air smelled like jasmine and rain. The sky above was gray, heavy with clouds. The front door opened before they reached it, and there he was, Dante. He stood in the doorway, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable. He looked at her the way someone might look at a painting they'd just bought. "You came," he said. "I didn't have a choice." "Everyone has a choice." "Not when your bodyguards show up at my job." His mouth curved, barely. "They're not bodyguards. They're insurance." "Against what?" "Against you running." The honesty of it stole her breath. "Why?" she whispered. "Why am I here?" He stepped aside, gesturing toward the open door. "Come inside. I'll explain." She didn't move. "Lena." His voice softened, just slightly. "Please." And because she was cold and scared and had nowhere else to go, she stepped inside. The house was exactly what she expected. Marble floors, high ceilings, furniture that looked like it cost more than her entire life. Dante led her through the foyer, down a long hallway, and into a sitting room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the hills. He poured 2 glasses of wine, handed her one. She didn't drink. "You're angry," he said. "I'm terrified." "Good. You should be." "That's not comforting." "It's not meant to be." He sat in a chair across from her, his movements slow, deliberate, like a predator pretending to be tame. "I told you last night," he said. "You deserve better than the life you had. So you kidnapped me. I removed you from danger." "What danger?" His eyes darkened. "You have debts. The kind that don't disappear. The kind that get sold, traded, collected." Her stomach dropped. "How do you know?" "I know everything about you, Lena." The truth of it settled over her like a shroud. "You've been investigating me. Protecting you." "From what?" "From the people I pissed off when I bought your debt." The room spun. "You, what?" "Your student loans. Your mother's medical bills. The credit cards you maxed trying to keep her alive. I bought all of it. Every cent." She couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. "Why?" He leaned forward, his gaze never leaving hers. "Because the men who owned it were going to use you, and I don't share." The possessiveness in his voice should have terrified her. It did, but it also made something inside her chest crack open. "You don't even know me," she whispered. "I know enough." "That's not how this works. You can't just." "I already did." Silence fell between them. Heavy. Absolute. Lena set the wine glass down with shaking hands. "So what now?" she asked. "You keep me here, like some kind of prisoner." "You're not a prisoner." "Then I can leave." "No." Her laugh was bitter, broken. "Then I'm a prisoner." Dante stood, crossed the room, stopped in front of her. "You're safe," he said quietly. "That's what you are." "I don't feel safe." "You will." And the worst part, the part that made her want to scream, was that she almost believed him. The days that followed blurred together. Dante gave her a room. Not a cell, a room. Soft bed, silk sheets, a balcony overlooking the garden. She was allowed to move through the house, to eat in the dining room, to sit by the pool, but she wasn't allowed to leave. The doors were always locked, the gates always closed, the men in black suits always watching. Dante visited her every evening, sometimes with dinner, sometimes just to talk. He never touched her, never pushed, but his presence filled the room like smoke. "You could let me go," she said one night. "I could. But you won't." "No. Why?" He looked at her for a long time, long enough that she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, "Because I've spent my whole life taking things, and you're the first thing I've ever wanted to keep." The honesty of it shattered something inside her. She hated him. She hated that he was right. She hated that every night, when he left, the room felt emptier than before. On the 7th day, she found him in the library. He sat in a leather chair, a book in his lap, a glass of whiskey on the table beside him. He looked up when she entered. Didn't speak. "I need to know something," she said. "Ask." "If I wanted to leave, really leave, would you stop me?" His jaw tightened. "Yes." "Even if I begged?" "Especially then." Her chest ached. "You're a monster," she whispered. "I know." "Then why do I keep coming back to this room?" He set the book aside, stood, crossed to her. "Because monsters don't lie," he said softly. "And you've spent your whole life surrounded by people who did." She looked up at him, at the hard lines of his face, the shadows in his eyes, and realized he was right. Everyone in her life had promised her things. Safety, love, a future, and every single one of them had lied. Dante had promised her nothing, except the truth. And somehow, that was enough. If this story has already found a place in your heart, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below for more stories that stay long after they end. Time moved differently in Dante's house. Days bled into nights, nights into mornings. Lena lost track of how long she'd been there. A week? 2? A month? It didn't matter. The outside world had become a memory, a dream she'd once had and then forgotten. Hey, there were routines, patterns, small mouses that made captivity bearable. Breakfast on the terrace, afternoons in the garden, evenings with Dante. He was always there, not hovering, just present. Like gravity, she began to notice things about him. Small things. The way he drank his coffee black, just like her. The scar on his left hand. The way he looked at her when he thought she wasn't paying attention. Like she was something precious, something breakable. It should have made her feel trapped. Instead, it made her feel seen. One afternoon, she found him in the gym. He moved through a series of exercises with brutal efficiency. Punches against a heavy bag. Each strike precise, controlled, violent. She watched from the doorway, her heart beating faster than it should. He stopped when he noticed her, grabbed a towel, wiped the sweat from his face. "You're staring again," he said. "You're always worth staring at." The words came out before she could stop them. His expression shifted. Something dangerous flickered in his eyes. "Careful, Lena." "Why?" "Because I'm trying to be good." "What if I don't want you to be?" The air between them changed, thickened. He crossed the room slowly, stopped inches from her. "You don't know what you're asking for," he said quietly. "Then show me." His hand came up, hesitated, then cupped her face. His thumb brushed across her cheek. Gentle, reverent. "I can't," he whispered. "Why?" "Because once I start, I won't stop." Her breath hitched. "Maybe I don't want you to stop." For a moment, just one terrible, perfect moment, she thought he would kiss her. But then he stepped back, dropped his hand. "Go to your room, Lena." "Dante." "Now." The command in his voice left no room for argument. She turned, left, climbed the stairs with legs that felt like lead. When she reached her room, she closed the door and pressed her back against it. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was racing. And she realized, with absolute clarity, that she was falling. Not into love. Into something darker, more dangerous. Something that felt like drowning and flying all at once. That night, Dante didn't come to dinner. Or the night after. For 3 days, she barely saw him. Just glimpses. Shadows in hallways. The sound of his voice from behind closed doors. She told herself it was better this way. She told herself she didn't miss him. Both were lies. On the fourth night, she found him on the terrace. He stood at the railing, a glass of whiskey in his hand, staring out at the dark hills. "You've been avoiding me," she said. He didn't turn around. "Yes." "Why?" "Because you're making this harder than it needs to be." "Making what harder?" "Keeping you at arm's length." She moved closer, stood beside him. "Maybe you don't have to." "Yes, I do." "Why?" Finally, he looked at her, and the rawness in his eyes nearly broke her. "Because I'm not a good man, Lena. I've done things, terrible things, things that would make you run if you knew." "I already know you're dangerous." "That's not the same as knowing what I've done." "Then tell me." He laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. "You don't want that." "Yes, I do." "Why?" "Because I need to understand why you took me, why you're keeping me, why you look at me like I'm the only thing in the world that matters." His jaw clenched, his knuckles white around the glass. "I lost someone once," he said finally. "Someone I should have protected. I was too late, too slow, and she died because of it." The confession hung in the air between them. "Dante, when I saw you," he continued, his voice rough, scrolling through that app like your life didn't matter, like you were just waiting for someone to notice you existed, "I saw her, the way she used to look, lost, alone, desperate for something real." Lena's chest tightened. "I couldn't save her," Dante whispered, "but I could save you." "I didn't need saving." "Yes, you did." And the terrible truth was, he was right. She had been drowning, slowly, quietly, in a life that had stopped making sense years ago. And Dante had pulled her out, even if his methods were wrong, even if his reasons were twisted. He had seen her, really seen her, and that meant more than freedom ever could. If you've ever felt torn between fear and love, you'll understand her. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Asterisk. Approx 1,520 words. Asterisk. Hash. Lena woke to the sound of shouting. She sat up, her heart pounding, and listened. Voices. Hash. Urgent. Coming from somewhere below. She threw on a robe and opened her door. The hallway was empty. Dark. But the voices grew louder. She moved toward the stairs. "Can't keep her here forever. I'll do what I want." "They know, Dante. They know you have her." Her blood turned to ice. She descended the stairs slowly, her bare feet silent on the marble. The voices came from Dante's office. The door was cracked open. She peered through. Dante stood behind his desk, his jaw tight, his hands braced on the wood. Across from him stood a man she didn't recognize. Older, gray-haired, wearing a suit that looked like it cost more than a car. "You've made her a target," the man said. "She was already a target." "Not like this. Not with your name attached to her." Dante's expression darkened. "Then I'll handle it." "You can't handle this. Not alone." "Watch me." The man sighed. "You're being reckless." "I'm being careful." "You're being obsessed." The word landed like a stone. Dante's hands curled into fists. "Get out," he said quietly. "Dante." "I said get out." The man shook his head, but he left. Lena pressed herself against the wall as he passed, praying he wouldn't notice her. He didn't. When his footsteps faded, she stepped into the doorway. Dante looked up. His eyes found hers, and for the first time, she saw exhaustion there. Real, bone-deep exhaustion. "You heard," he said. It wasn't a question. "Yes." "Then you know." "Know what?" "That keeping you here has consequences." Her chest tightened. What kind of consequences? He didn't answer immediately, just stared at her like he was memeizing her face. There are people who don't like that I took you, he said finally. People who think you're leverage, a weakness. Am I? Yes. The honesty of it stole her breath. Then let me go, she whispered. No, Dante. I told you, I don't share. Even if keeping me gets you killed. His mouth curved into something that wasn't quite a smile, especially then. She wanted to scream at him, wanted to shake him, wanted to make him see reason, but she couldn't, because somewhere along the way, his madness had become hers. The next morning, everything changed. Dante came to her room early. His face was hard, closed. Pack a bag, he said. What? We're leaving. Where? Somewhere safe. Dante, what's going on? He didn't answer, just turned and walked away. Lena packed quickly. A few clothes, a toothbrush, her phone, which hadn't worked since the day she arrived. When she came downstairs, Dante was waiting, along with 4 men she'd never seen before, all armed. Her stomach dropped. Dante. Don't talk. Just stay close. They moved through the house quickly, out a side door, into the garage. A different car waited, armored, black, windows tinted. She slid into the back seat. Dante followed. The door slammed shut, and they drove. The city passed in a blur, then the highway, then nothing but empty road and open sky. Lena's hands trembled in her lap. What happened? She asked quietly. They found us, Dante said. Who? The people I took you from. Her breath caught. And now they want you back. Why? He looked at her, really looked at her. Because you're worth something to me. The word settled over her like a shroud. Dante. I won't let them take you, he said. No matter what it costs. Even your life. Especially my life. She closed her eyes, and for the first time since this all began, she prayed. Not for freedom. For him. They drove for hours. Eventually, the car turned off the highway and onto a narrow dirt road. Trees pressed in on either side. The sky above was dark with clouds. They stopped in front of a cabin. Small. Isolated. Hidden. Out, Dante said. Inside, the cabin was sparse. A bed. A table. A fireplace. Dante locked the door behind them. Checked the windows. Set his gun on the table. Then he turned to her. We'll stay here until it's safe, he said. How long will that be? I don't know. What if it's never safe? His jaw tightened. Then we stay here forever. The weight of his words pressed down on her. Dante. I mean it, Lena. I'll burn the whole world down before I let them have you. She believed him, and that was the most terrifying part. That night, they sat by the fire. The flames cast shadows across Dante's face, made him look older, harder. Do you regret it? She asked quietly. Regret what? Swiping right. He looked at her for a long time. No, he said finally. Do you? She thought about her old life, the cafe, the debts, the loneliness. Then she thought about this. Him, the cage he'd built around her. No, she whispered. I don't. His eyes darkened. You should. Why? Because I'm going to ruin you. Maybe I want to be ruined. He stood, crossed to her, knelt in front of her chair. His hands framed her face. You don't know what you're saying. Yes, I do. Lena. I'm already ruined, Dante. I was ruined the moment I met you. His thumb brushed across her lips. I'm sorry, he whispered. Don't be. And then, finally, he kissed her. It wasn't gentle, wasn't soft. It was desperation and fury and something that tasted like goodbye. She kissed him back with everything she had, because she knew, even then, that nothing good could come from this. But she didn't care. If your heart's racing too, take a breath, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below for more unforgettable love stories. The cabin became their world. Days passed, maybe weeks. Time lost meaning when there was nowhere to go and nothing to do but exist. Dante taught her things: how to shoot, how to listen for danger, how to survive. She taught him things too: how to laugh, how to be still, how to let someone in. They moved around each other like dancers, careful, deliberate, always aware of the space between them. But at night, that space disappeared. He held her in the dark, his arms tight around her, his breath warm against her neck. "I should let you go," he whispered one night. "But you won't." "No." "Good." She felt him smile against her skin. "You're insane," he murmured. "I learned from the best." The days were quiet, peaceful, even. But peace never lasts. It shattered on a Tuesday. Lena was outside, gathering wood for the fire, when she heard the sound. A car, distant but growing closer. Her blood turned to ice. She dropped the wood, ran inside. Dante. He was already moving, already reaching for his gun. "How many?" he asked. "I don't know. I just heard." The sound of tires on gravel cut her off. Dante's jaw clenched. "Get in the bedroom. Lock the door. Don't come out until I tell you." "Dante." "Now, Lena." She ran, locked herself in, pressed her ear to the door. Voices outside, low, threatening. Then Dante's voice, calm, cold. "You're on private property. We're here for the girl. She's not yours to take. She was never yours to keep." A pause, heavy, electric. Then, "Leave. Now, while you still can." Laughter. "Hush. Cruel. You think you can stop us?" "I know I can." The first gunshot shattered the silence. Lena clapped a hand over her mouth to keep from screaming. More shots. Fast. Brutal. The sound of breaking glass. She crouched in the corner, her whole body shaking, and prayed. Then, silence. Terrible, absolute silence. She waited. 1 minute. 2. Then the door handle turned. She raised the gun Dante had given her. Her hands trembled so badly she could barely hold it. The door opened. Dante stood there, blood on his shirt, a cut above his eye, but alive. She dropped the gun, threw herself at him. He caught her, held her, his heart pounding against hers. "It's over," he whispered. "Are they dead?" The word should have horrified her. It didn't. "We have to leave," he said. "More will come." "Where will we go?" "Anywhere. Everywhere. It doesn't matter." "Dante." He pulled back, looked at her. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm sorry I dragged you into this." "I'm not." "Lena." "I chose this. I chose you." His eyes searched hers. "Why?" "Because you're the only person who's ever made me feel alive." He kissed her, hard, desperate. "Then live," he whispered against her lips. "Live with me." They packed in minutes, left everything behind. The cabin, the bodies, the blood. They drove through the night. No destination, just motion. Lena watched the world blur past the window and realized she wasn't afraid anymore. She was free, not because the cage was open, but because she'd stopped wanting to leave. Before we close this chapter, take a moment, like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below. Every small gesture helps the next story find its way to you. They ended up in a small town on the coast. The kind of place where no one asked questions and everyone minded their own business. Dante rented a house under a false name. Small, weathered, windows that overlooked the ocean. They fell into a new routine. Mornings on the beach, afternoons in silence, nights tangled together in sheets that smelled like salt and skin. It should have felt like peace. But Dante was restless, haunted. Lena saw it in the way he stayed at the horizon, the way he checked the locks 3 times before bed, the way he flinched at sudden sounds. "Talk to me," she said one night. They were sitting on the porch. The ocean roared in the distance. "About what?" "Whatever's eating you alive." He didn't answer immediately, just took a long drink from his glass. "I killed 6 men for you," he said finally. "I know. Does that bother you?" "Should it?" "Most people would say yes." "I'm not most people." He looked at her. "No, you're not." "Do you regret it?" she asked. "Killing them?" "No." "Then why do you look like you do?" His jaw tightened. "Because there will be more. And next time, I might not win." "Then we run." "We can't run forever." "We can try." He shook his head. "You deserve better than this." "I deserve you." "That's not the same thing." "Yes, it is." He set his glass down, turned to her. "You could leave," he said quietly. "Right now. Walk away. I wouldn't stop you." "Liar." His mouth twitched. "Okay, I'd stop you, but I'd let you go eventually." "Would you?" "If it meant you'd be safe, yes." She stood, crossed to him, straddled his lap. His hands came to her waist automatically. "I don't want safe," she whispered. "I want you." "Lena. I'm tired of pretending this is temporary, that I'm here because I have to be. I'm here because I want to be." "You don't know what you're saying." "Stop telling me what I know and what I don't. I know you. I know what you've done. And I know that I'd rather die with you than live without you." His grip tightened. His eyes darkened. "You're going to destroy me," he whispered. "Good." He kissed her then, fierce and claiming, like he was trying to consume her whole. And she let him, because destruction had never felt so much like home. The weeks that followed were the happiest of Lena's life. Strange, considering everything. Considering what they'd left behind. Considering what might still be coming. But happiness isn't about circumstances. It's about moments. And she had so many moments with him. Morning coffee on the porch. His hand in hers as they walked the beach. The way he looked at her when he thought she was sleeping. She learned more about him too. The pieces he'd kept hidden. He'd grown up in violence. Born into it. His father had been a monster. His mother a ghost. He'd killed his first man at 17. "Did you want to?" she asked one night. "No. But you did it anyway." "Yes." "Do you regret it?" He was quiet for a long time. "I regret what it made me, not what it saved." "What did it save?" "My sister." Lena's breath caught. "You have a sister." "Had." The past tense landed like a blow. "Dante." "She died 6 years ago. Cancer. By the time I had enough money to get her real treatment, it was too late." His voice was flat, empty, the voice of someone who'd cried all their tears long ago. "I'm sorry," Lena whispered. "Don't be. She was the only good thing I ever had. Until you." The words broke something inside her. She climbed into his lap, wrapped her arms around him, held him while he stayed perfectly still. "I'm not going anywhere," she said softly. "You might not have a choice." "Then we'll make one." He pulled back, looked at her. "You really mean that?" "Yes." "Even knowing what I am?" "Especially knowing what you are." He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her mouth. "I love you," he whispered. It was the first time he'd said it, and Lena realized she'd been waiting her whole life to hear it. "I love you too," she breathed, and meant it with every broken piece of her soul. But love doesn't protect you from the world. It came for them 3 weeks later. Lena was in the market, buying groceries, when she felt it, the prickling awareness of being watched. She turned slowly. A man stood across the street. Dark suit, expressionless face. Her heart stopped. She abandoned the groceries. Ran. The man followed. She ducked into an alley. Pulled out her phone. Hands shaking. One call. Dante answered on the first ring. They found us, she gasped. Where are you? Market. East side. Run. I'm coming. She ran. Through alleys. Across streets. Her lungs burning. Her legs screaming. But the man was faster. He caught her arm. Spun her around. Miss Harper, he said calmly. You need to come with me. Let go. I don't want to hurt you. Then don't touch me. His grip tightened. I have my orders. She drove her knee into his stomach. Had. He grunted. Loosened his grip. She ran again. Made it 2 blocks before she heard the car. Tires screeching. Dante's voice shouting her name. She turned. The black car skidded to a stop. Dante jumped out. And behind him, more men. Too many. They surrounded them. Guns drawn. Dante moved in front of her. His body a shield. You can't have her, he said. This doesn't have to end badly, one of the men said. Just give us the girl. No. Dante, Lena started. No. The man sighed. Then you both die. Time slowed. Lena saw it happening before it did. The man raising his gun. Dante reaching for his. The inevitability of violence. Wait, she said. Everyone froze. She stepped out from behind Dante. Lena, don't. Dante grabbed for her. She shook him off. What do you want? You, the man said simply. Why? Because you belong to people more powerful than him. I don't belong to anyone. That's not how this works. She looked at Dante, at the fury and fear warring in his eyes. Let him go, she said. Take me, but let him go. No, Dante snarled. Lena. Promise me you'll let him go, she continued, and I'll come quietly. The man considered. Agreed. Lena, no. She turned to Dante, cupped his face. I love you, she whispered. Don't do this. I have to. I'll find you. I swear to God, I'll find you. I know. She kissed him, one last time, then stepped away. The men moved forward, took her arms. Dante lunged. 3 guns swung toward him. Don't, Lena said sharply. Please. He stopped, his whole body shaking with rage. The last thing she saw before they shoved her into the car was his face. Broken. Destroyed. His. If this story has already found a place in your heart, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below for more stories that stay long after they end. They took her to a house she didn't recognize. Stone. Cold. Windows covered with bars. A prison dressed as a mansion. The men locked her in a room. Empty except for a bed and a chair. She sat waited, tried not to think about Dante's face. Hours passed. Then the door opened. A woman entered. Elegant. Older. Eyes like ice. Miss Harper, she said. I'm sorry it came to this. Who are you? Someone who owns what your boyfriend stole. I'm not property. The woman smiled. Everyone is property. The only question is who holds the deed. Lena's stomach turned. What do you want from me? Leverage. Dante Rossi has been a problem for a long time. You're the solution. He'll come for me. I'm counting on it. The truth settled over her like frost. You're using me as bait. Smart girl. And when he comes, he dies. Lena's blood turned to ice. No. It's already done. He can't help himself. He'll come. And when he does, we'll be waiting. Please. Save your breath. There's nothing you can say that will change this. The woman left. Lena sat in the empty room and tried not to scream. Days passed. Or maybe just hours. Time had no meaning anymore. They fed her, gave her water, treated her like a guest. But she was a prisoner. And Dante was walking into a trap. She tried everything, begging, bargaining, offering herself in exchange for his safety. Nothing worked. The woman, whose name was Elena, just smiled. Love makes people weak, she said. He's been weak since the day he met you. He's stronger than you think. We'll see. On the third day, Elena came to her room with news. He's coming, she said. Tonight. Lena's heart stopped. How do you know? Because I left him a trail, and he followed it, just like I knew he would. You have to stop this. Please. Why would I do that? Because killing him won't solve anything. It'll solve everything. Elena turned to leave. Wait, Lena said desperately. What if I could give you something better? Elena paused. Like what? Information. About Dante. His contacts. His business. Everything. You'd betray him. To save him? Yes. Elena studied her. You're lying. I'm not. Just promise me you won't kill him. Lock him up. Let him rot. I don't care. Just don't kill him. For a moment, something flickered in Elena's eyes. You really love him? Yes. Even after everything he's done. Especially because of it. Elena shook her head. Love is a disease. Maybe, but it's mine. The woman left without another word. And Lena sat in the dark and prayed for a miracle she didn't believe in. Night fell. Lena heard movement. Voices. The sound of preparations. They were getting ready. She stood. Paced. Tried the door. Locked. She looked around the room. Searching for something. Anything. A lamp. Heavy. Metal base. She picked it up. If they were going to use her as bait, she'd at least make it hard. Footsteps in the hallway. The door opened. A guard. Young. Nervous. Come with me, he said. Why? Just come. She followed, gripping the lamp behind her back. He led her down a hallway, into a larger room. Windows overlooking the driveway. Men positioned everywhere. Guns ready. Elena stood at the center. Calm. In control. Put her by the window, she said. Make sure he sees her. The guard moved her forward. Lena looked out, and her heart stopped. A car. Black. Familiar. Dante. He stepped out. Alone. She wanted to scream. To warn him. But Elena's hand clamped over her mouth. Not yet, she whispered. Dante walked toward the house. Slow. Deliberate. He stopped at the bottom of the steps. I'm here, he called out. Let her go. Elena pressed a button. Her voice echoed through speakers. Come inside, Mr. Rossi, unarmed. Let me see her first. No. Then I leave. Elena smiled, gestured to the guard. He shoved Lena closer to the window. Dante's eyes found hers, and the pain in them nearly broke her. I'm okay, she mouthed. He didn't look okay. He looked destroyed. Come inside, Elena repeated, or she dies right now. Dante's jaw clenched. Then he moved, toward the door. Lena's breath caught. No. No, no, no. The door opened. Dante stepped inside. 10 guns pointed at him. He didn't flinch. Let her go, he said quietly. You're in no position to make demands, Elena said. Neither are you. How do you figure? Dante smiled. Cold. Terrifying. Because I didn't come alone. Elena's expression flickered. You're bluffing. Am I? A sound outside. Engines. Dozens of them. Elena's face went white. She ran to the window. And Lena saw it. Cars. Trucks. An army. Dante's people. You bitch, Elena hissed. You used her as bait, Dante said softly. I used her as distraction. While you were watching her, my people surrounded you. Elena's hand went to her gun. Don't, Dante said. It's over. For a long moment, no one moved. Then Elena laughed. Bitter. Broken. You really would burn the world down for her. Yes. She lowered her gun. Then you're a fool. Maybe. The room erupted into motion. Dante's people poured in. Guns drawn. Taking control. Dante crossed Elena. Pulled her into his arms. I've got you, he whispered. You came. Always. She buried her face in his chest and tried not to cry. He'd risked everything. For her. If you've ever felt torn between fear and love, you'll understand her. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below. Your support keeps stories like this alive. They left the house in flames. Not literal flames, but close enough. Dante's people handled everything. The cleanup, the bodies, the evidence. By dawn, it was like it had never happened, except for the memory. And memory, Lena was learning, weighed more than blood. Dante took her back to the coast. Different house, different town, same ocean. He was quieter now, harder. Something had changed. Talk to me, she said. They were sitting on the beach, watching the sunrise. About what? About why you look like you lost instead of won. He didn't answer immediately, just stayed at the horizon. I made a deal, he said finally. What kind of deal? The kind that has consequences. Her stomach dropped. Dante. To get you back, I had to give them something. What? Me. The word landed like a punch. What does that mean? It means I agreed to work for them. For Elena's people. 5 years. No. It was the only way to keep you safe. I don't care about safe. Well, I do. His voice was sharp. Final. Lena's hands trembled. So what now? You just leave. Yes. When? End of the week. 3 days. She had 3 days left with him. This is insane, she whispered. This is survival. I don't want to survive without you. He looked at her then. Really looked at her. You don't have a choice. Neither do you. Yes, I do. And I made it. She wanted to scream. To hit him. To make him take it back. But she couldn't. Because deep down, she understood. Love wasn't always about staying. Sometimes it was about letting go. They spent the next 3 days pretending. Pretending everything was normal. That nothing was ending. That time wasn't running out. They walked the beach. Made love in the dark. Held each other like they could stop the sunrise through sheer will. But morning always came. And on the 4th day, so did the car. Black. Familiar. Final. Dante packed a single bag. Lena watched from the doorway. Don't do this, she said quietly. I have to. No, you don't. Lena. We could run. Disappear. They'd never find us. Yes, they would. Then we fight. I'm tired of fighting. His voice broke on the last word, and Lena realized he was exhausted. Bone deep, soul-tired, exhausted. He'd been fighting his whole life, and she was the first thing worth surrendering for. She crossed to him, wrapped her arms around him. I love you, she whispered. I love you too. Will I see you again? I don't know. Promise me you'll try. He pulled back, cupped her face. I promise. Then he kissed her. Soft, gentle. Goodbye. He picked up his bag, walked to the door. Stopped. Lena. Yeah. Live. Please. Don't spend the next 5 years waiting for me. Live. I'll try. That's all I ask. Then he left, and Lena stood in the doorway and watched the car disappear down the road. She didn't cry. Not yet. Because crying meant it was over, and she wasn't ready to let it be over. The months that followed were the hardest of Lena's life. She stayed in the house by the ocean. Alone. She got a job at a bookstore. Made friends. Built a life. But every night, she lay in bed and stared at the ceiling and thought about him. Wondered where he was. If he was safe. If he thought about her too. She got one letter. 3 months after he left. No return address. No signature. Just 4 words. Asterisk asterisk I'm still breathing asterisk asterisk. She kept it by her bed. Read it every night before sleep. And somehow, it was enough. Time passed. Slowly. Painfully. But it passed. She learned to live with the ache. Learned to build a life around the hole he'd left. It wasn't happiness. But it was close enough. A year went by. Then 2. She stopped checking her phone every 5 minutes. Stopped jumping at the sound of cars outside. She told herself he was gone. That he wasn't coming back. She almost believed it. Then one night, 3 years to the day since he left, she came home to find the door unlocked. Her heart stopped. She pushed it open slowly. And there he was, standing in her living room. Older. Thinner. Scarred. But alive. "Hi," he said softly. Lena's knees buckled. She caught herself on the doorframe. "You're here," she whispered. "I'm here." "How?" "I finished. 2 years early. Good behavior." She laughed. A broken, desperate sound. "You came back." "I promised." She crossed the room. Slowly, like he might disappear if she moved too fast. She stopped in front of him, reached up, touched his face. Real. Solid. "Here. I missed you," she breathed. "I missed you too." Then she was in his arms, holding him, being held. And for the first time in 3 years, the ache in her chest eased. If your heart's racing too, take a breath. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below for more unforgettable love stories. They didn't talk that first night. Words felt too small for what they needed to say. Instead, they held each other, relearned the shape of each other's bodies, remembered what it felt like to not be alone. When morning came, Dante was still there. Lena had half expected him to be gone. A dream. A ghost. But he was real. He made coffee. She watched him move through her kitchen like he'd always been there. "What now?" she asked. He turned, leaned against the counter. "I don't know." "You don't know?" "I spent 3 years planning how to get back to you. I didn't plan past that." She smiled. Small. Soft. "Then we figure it out together." "Is that what you want?" "Yes." "Even after everything?" "Especially after everything." He crossed to her, took her hands. "I'm not the same man who left," he said quietly. "I'm not the same woman." "Does that scare you?" "No. It should." "Nothing about you scares me anymore, Dante." His eyes searched hers. "What if I can't be good? What if I'm still?" "Then be who you are. I don't need good. I just need you." He kissed her, deep, claiming, like he was coming home. The days that followed were strange. They built a life together. Slowly, carefully. He got a job. Legitimate this time. Construction. Hard work that left him exhausted and satisfied. She kept working at the bookstore. They cooked dinner together. Walked the beach at sunset. Fell asleep tangled in each other. It was ordinary. And ordinary felt like a miracle. But the past didn't disappear just because you wanted it to. 6 months after Dante came back, a man showed up at the house. Lena answered the door. And froze. He was young. Scarred. Dangerous looking. "Is Dante here?" he asked. "Who's asking?" "Someone who needs his help." Dante appeared behind her. His whole body went tense. "Marco." "Dante." "What do you want?" 5 minutes. That's all." Lena stepped aside. Let him in. They sat in the living room. Tension thick enough to choke on. "I'm out," Dante said before Marco could speak. "I know. But." "No buts. I'm done. People are dying. Not my problem." "They were your people." Dante's jaw clenched. "Were. Past tense. They need you. They'll survive without me." Marco stood. "You sure about that?" Yes. The young man nodded, headed for the door. Stopped. She must be something special, he said quietly, to make you walk away from everything. She is. Marco left. Lena waited until the car disappeared before speaking. What was that about? My old life trying to pull me back. And I'm not going. You're sure? He took her face in his hands. I've spent my whole life destroying things. You're the first thing I've ever built. I'm not losing that. Not for anything. She kissed him. Hard. Grateful. Good. Time continued its slow march forward. They got married 6 months later. Small ceremony. Just them and a justice of the peace. No family. No friends. Just two people choosing each other. Again. Lena wore a simple white dress. Dante wore a suit that made him look almost respectable. When the officiant pronounced them married, Dante kissed her like he was sealing a promise. And maybe he was. They honeymooned on the beach. Didn't go far. Didn't need to. Happy? He asked one night. They were lying in bed. Her head on his chest. His fingers in her hair. Yes. No regrets. None. Liar. She looked up at him. Okay. One regret. What? That I didn't swipe right sooner. He laughed. The sound rare and beautiful. I would have found you anyway, he said. How do you know? Because some people are inevitable. You and me? We were always going to end up here. She kissed his chest, right over his heart. Then I'm glad we didn't waste any more time. But life has a way of testing happiness. A year after they married, Lena found out she was pregnant. She stayed at the test. At the 2 pink lines, terror and joy warred in her chest. She found Dante in the garage, working on something. Always working with his hands now. Hey, she said. He looked up, smiled. Hey yourself. I need to tell you something. His smile faded. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I just. She handed him the test. He stayed at it. For a long time. Too long. Dante. He looked up, and she saw tears in his eyes. We're having a baby. Yes. He dropped the test, pulled her into his arms, held her so tight she could barely breathe. I love you, he whispered. I love you too. I'm going to be a father. You're going to be a great father. You don't know that. Yes, I do. He pulled back, looked at her. I'm scared, he admitted. Me too. What if I mess this up? Then we'll fix it. Together. He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her mouth. Together, he repeated. And Lena believed him. Because together, they'd survived everything. A baby would be easy by comparison. Before we close this chapter, take a moment, like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below. Every small gesture helps the next story find its way to you. Their daughter was born on a Tuesday in April. 7 pounds. 10 ounces. Perfect. They named her Sophia, after Dante's sister, the one he'd lost, the one he'd loved. When the nurse placed her in Dante's arms, something in him broke open. Lena watched tears stream down his face as he stared at their daughter. She's perfect, he whispered. She is. I don't deserve this. Yes, you do. He looked at Lena. I spent my whole life taking things. And somehow, I ended up with everything. You didn't take me. I chose you. Why? She smiled. Soft. Tired. Happy. Because you saw me. Really saw me. When everyone else looked through me, you looked at me. And I've never felt more alive than when I'm with you. He leaned over, kissed her. I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret that choice, he said. I know. The early days were hard. Sleepless nights. Crying that wouldn't stop. The constant fear that they were doing everything wrong. But they figured it out. Together. Dante was a natural father. Patient, gentle, strong. He woke Sofia to sleep every night, singing to her in Italian, old songs his mother had sung to him. Lena watched from the doorway and fell in love with him all over again. This was the man she'd chosen. Not the dangerous one. Not the powerful one. The one who held their daughter like she was made of glass and sang lullabies in the dark. Time passed. Sofia grew, started smiling, laughing, reaching for them. The house filled with toys, with noise, with life. And slowly, the shadows of the past faded. Not completely. They were always there, lurking in quiet moments. But they didn't define them anymore. On Sofia's first birthday, they threw a party. Small. Just a few neighbors. Some co-workers. People who knew them as Lena and Dante. Not who they used to be. Lena stood in the kitchen, watching Dante play with Sofia in the yard. He was chasing her, making monster noises. She was shrieking with laughter. "You look happy," a voice said. Lena turned. Her neighbor, Sarah, kind woman, grandmother. "I am," Lena said. "He's good with her." "He is. You two have something special." Lena smiled. "We do." "How did you meet?" For a moment, the truth sat on Lena's tongue. "I swiped right on a dating app. His bodyguards showed up at my job. He kidnapped me. I fell in love with my captor." But she couldn't say that. So she said, "Through friends." It was close enough to true. That night, after everyone left and Sofia was asleep, Dante found Lena on the porch. "You okay?" he asked. "Just thinking. About how far we've come." He sat beside her, took her hand. "Do you ever miss it?" he asked. "Your old life?" "No. Do you?" "Not even a little. Not even the power. Especially not that." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "I'm proud of you," she said quietly. "For what?" "For choosing this. For choosing us. There was never another choice. Not really." "Yes, there was. You could have stayed in that world. You could have kept me in it." "And watched it destroy you?" "No. It might have destroyed you too." "I was already destroyed, Lena. You're what rebuilt me." She kissed him. Slow. Deep. "I love you," she whispered. "I love you too." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the ocean, listening to the waves. "Do you think Sofia will ever ask?" Lena said eventually. "About our past?" "Probably." "What will you tell her?" "The truth. That I made mistakes. That I hurt people. That I'm not proud of who I was. But that I'm trying to be better." "Think she'll understand?" "Eventually. And if she doesn't, then I'll keep trying until she does." Lena smiled. "You're a good man, Dante." "I'm a man who's trying to be good. There's a difference." "Not to me." More years passed. Sofia started school, made friends, brought home drawings that Dante hung on the fridge like they were masterpieces. Lena went back to school herself, got her degree, became a teacher. Dante opened his own construction company, hired young men who reminded him of who he used to be, gave them second chances. They built a life, not perfect, not easy, but theirs. On their 10th anniversary, Dante took Lena back to the beach where it all began, the one outside the first house he'd taken her to. "Why here?" she asked. "Because this is where I first realized I loved you." "You didn't tell me that." "I didn't know how. And now I can't shut up about it." She laughed. "That's not true." "Maybe not, but I think it every day." He pulled a small box from his pocket. "What's this?" "Open it." Inside was a ring. Simple. Elegant. "You already gave me a ring," she said. "That was a wedding ring. This is a promise ring." "Promising what?" "That no matter what comes next, no matter how old we get or how hard life gets, I'm yours. Completely. Always." She slipped it on. next to her wedding band. "I was already yours," she whispered. "I know, but I wanted to make it official." She kissed him, there on the beach, with the waves crashing and the sun setting, and Lena thought about the woman she'd been. Lost, alone, drowning in a life that felt too small, and the woman she was now. Found, loved, living a life she'd never imagined. All because she'd swiped right. All because he'd seen her. All because they'd chosen each other. Again and again and again. "Thank you," she whispered. "For what?" "For not giving up on me. Never. Even when I gave you reasons to. Especially then." She'd buried her face in his chest and realized this was it. This was the happily ever after she'd stopped believing in. Not perfect, not easy, but real. And real was better than perfect any day. They walked back to the car hand in hand. Sophia was waiting, 11 years old now. Her father's eyes, her mother's smile. "Can we go for ice cream?" she asked. "Always," Dante said. And they drove away. 3 people who had found each other in the darkness and chosen the light. Together. If stories like this linger in your heart long after they end, don't leave just yet. Like, comment, subscribe, and check the description box below, and let the next story find you when the night grows quiet again.